But let's talk about this dude who got shot, man.
Oh, yeah.
KDAT7 says cell phone video shows suspect shoving several women down before firing shots. Now, I chose this story for this segment for a reason, because this is not the only outlet that's trying to make it seem like this guy was the bad guy. First of all, if you want to be truly fair, you got a conflict going on. Two different factions arguing over whether the statue should come down or shouldn't come down, and they disagree. Now, I think to be fair, you've got people trying to break the law and other people saying, don't break the law. So I always err on the side of don't break the law. So, of course, I inherently have a bias towards the people saying, hey, stop them from breaking the law. Now, if you want to start getting into the nitty gritty of it, all that really matters is when this fight breaks out, this dude in blue, which they have circled right here, runs away. They chase after him yelling, we're going to kill you, and start beating him with a skateboard. And then he draws his weapon, and it looks like he's hit in the face or something. And then he makes 4 shots, critically injuring a man. So he's in critical but stable condition. I don't know. I mean, I hope the guy's okay. But listen, this is a lesson, man. And I mean this with I mean this in all seriousness. This is what happens when people without guns start fights with people who have guns.
Yep.
You know, that should be a very important lesson. You know these guys are armed. Don't run after them screaming you will kill them, because self-defense.
It didn't look like he was armed. They didn't know he was armed, but that's not the important thing here.
Right, doesn't matter if he was or wasn't.
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
What if
this is exactly what I've been talking about. This is what's going to happen.
They're going to show up and guns are going to go blazing.
They're going to start meeting up. Now they're going to meet up with people that have guns, and they're going to start getting killed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Cities, you're not allowed to have a gun in New York. You're not allowed to have a gun. All the guns that are in New York are either in the cops or illegal.
Well, no, I think there was a Supreme Court ruling not that long ago, and I think now they're forced to somehow allow weapons. I'm pretty sure.
In New York State, in New
Everywhere.
York City.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
well,
well,
when
we'll see if you can-
I lived in New York for a long
try
time.
and see if you can pull it up?
And I was under the impression there's no guns allowed.
I don't,
at all.
So I remember
that's what stop and frisk was for, wasn't it? To get rid of
illegal guns.
Illegal guns.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
So I know New York is really, really strict.
Yeah.
But I remember, growing up in Chicago, they had insane gun laws.
Okay.
And then there was a Supreme Court ruling saying you can't stop people from bearing arms. So Chicago freaked out and tried passing a whole bunch of crazy gun laws to make weird loopholes to block people.
Yeah,
like,
of
okay, you
course.
can own a gun, but it's got to be like this shape and it's got to be like this size and it's got to be in your trunk and stuff like that. And then what happened was, I guess that got struck down too.
Okay.
And now you can concealed carry in Chicago, I'm pretty sure. And so all these businesses started putting up signs saying no guns allowed in their businesses so that they can, they can't stop you from walking around with one. But most of the businesses in Chicago are like, you can't come in my building because it's private property.
I see. Okay.
Did you, what did you?
Yeah, so it says, I found an article that says in much of the country, cities can't enact their own gun laws. So it looks like there's preemption laws that limit local regulations of firearms, which must have been what you're talking about. That's from 2018. Does that sound about right for time frame?
Yep. I had already left New York by that point.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
I don't know but check this out. My main concern here, as I agree with you about the gun thing, these people are going to get a cold splash of water in the face, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
When they start showing up in New Mexico and other, I'll put it this way. This is actually funny because I pulled up I got these 2 Wikipedia pages. New Mexico, Albuquerque specifically, is 40% Democratic, 34% Republican, and 25% unaffiliated. Not the most Democratic place. Philadelphia actually is 82% presidential election Democrat. That surprised me. And even in Philadelphia, armed men are showing up to defend statues. So I'll tell you what, man, people, you only need 10 people who are, it doesn't matter what their politics are, 10 people to say, yo, you can't come and destroy this statue. For these people to get a cold, wake-up call when someone's like, you come at me, I'll defend myself. Now, but this is funny. Check it out. The article here is trying to blame the dude. And here's what I find fascinating. I'm going to play this clip for you. So in this clip, they circle it. They're desperately trying to justify this guy as the bad guy. But you can clearly see in many of these videos, it's actually the women attacking this dude.
It's actually the same woman.
Over and over again. So look they're shoving him around. And then hit him with a skateboard.
Wow.
He straight up swung it at him.
Look at this, dude. You can see him. So watch. The guy in blue. Now watch his skateboard come for his face. He swung a skateboard at him. Dude runs away.
Chased by a woman.
You can really hurt somebody with a skateboard.
Oh, dude.
Like,
yeah.
seriously hurt somebody.
Like, you can kill somebody with a skateboard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The trucks are heavy. I mean, yeah, a board by itself, if you swing it on the edge, it's like that can hurt. But then you add the weight of the trucks. Dude. And you hit him with the trucks too. That was a truck hit to the face.
If you go a full,
that's serious.
So the truck gets the metal part on the bottom. If you go a full swing with that, like a baseball bat,
Kill somebody.
death shot,
For
kill
sure.
shot.
Yeah.
Hit him right in the nose.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Force it in the
So
brain.
this guy's
Could
running away,
kill him.
right?
Easy.
What do we got here? This is a Facebook video, and it's funny. Like this article is. Look at this. But Steve Baca before he shot the protester.
What a jerk.
So look, they saw him shove that woman, right? But wait for it. She's grabbing him, and he pushes her off. And it looks like he says, "Don't touch me."
And also, notice how that video cut in right then, as opposed
So you can't
like,
see her grabbing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was that going on?
Yeah.
Now
I've seen this too often, where suddenly another video will surface where it's like 3 minutes longer, and you're like,
Context.
"Oh,
Yep.
what's this?"
Yep.
Then you see the whole thing.
propaganda, man.
Man.
But to be fair, take a look at this next part. It looks like he does grab this woman right here. He looks like he instigated that attack on her.
Yep, definitely, I agree.
So check it out. She's climbing up, and then he goes up behind her and grabs her.
Yep, not cool.
Not a saint. Dude's
Nope.
clearly not a saint.
Nope.
Yep. Well,
Check it out.
tensions are clearly rising
He
throughout all of this.
Look at that. He pulls her down. Not cool, bro. So he should definitely get charged for that, in my opinion.
That's assault.
For sure.
Technically, I think.
But check this out.
But they're all assaulting each other. It's
Right.
like, I'm not
Right.
saying anyone's right here. They're all assaulting each other.
Yep.
The one thing I did notice is he walked away after someone already swung a skateboard at
He
him.
runs away.
Yeah, he went to leave.
Yep.
And then they're like, let's get him.
No, they said we're gonna kill you.
You're right.
Dude.
Even more damning. That's what you
Seriously.
say to someone. What do you think's gonna happen? That right there, hearing that, someone say that, he should fear for his life then.
Yep.
If they said, let's kill this dude,
Yeah, that's a credible threat.
So
right?
and then they start
definitely.
beating him with a
Yeah.
skateboard, he
Yeah.
pulls a gun and shoots him. Like, I am not surprised.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been worried about happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this won't be the
Man.
last time, man.
Oh, no.
So
I agree.
So here's the other funny thing that happens, because even I was calling this guy a militia guy because that's what the news was reporting.
Yeah.
Because a group called the New Mexico Civil Guard showed up to defend the statue. Eventually, they stopped. So I don't know what their deal was entirely.
Stop defending it, you mean?
Yeah. So I think they were not so heavily there to just defend the statue.
Okay.
They were there because there were no cops and these protesters were marching around and there'd be riots. And they actually walked away and were going to sit back and watch them tear the statue down. This guy apparently has nothing to do with them.
Okay.
And so the media reported that this guy was part of the militia. He's apparently not. The militia guys were wearing camo. This guy was wearing a blue shirt.
Yeah.
So they actually published this message, the New Mexico Civil Guard. They said, there's a lot of speculation encircling the shooting in Albuquerque. I want to let everyone know the shooter was not a member of NMCG. Our guys held him at gunpoint until the police arrived.
Oh, wow.
NMCG was not involved in the shooting. It was a moment of chaos, and our members took point to prevent any more rounds from being fired and to stop the angry mob from continuing to attack. Edit. Our members had stepped away from the protesters, stepped back to watch them pull the statue down. They were nowhere near the shooter. They ran towards the shooter when they heard the shots, disarmed the shooter, preventing any more protesters from being shot. They circled the shooter to prevent any of the protesters from their continuing attacks. Our members did not pick a side. They stopped the violence on both sides. And I want to add too, in the video, you can see the New Mexico Civil Guard actually renders aid to the man who got shot.
I saw that.
So I believe them. I do. I don't think this guy had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I think this guy was like, don't tear the statues down. And then everybody started hitting each other, man.
Yep.
So they're hitting him. He's hitting back. He pulls a woman down. Someone swings a board at his face. They push him around. He runs away. They chase after him saying, we're going to kill you. They actually start beating on him. Pulls out his gun. Pop, 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 pop. That's it. And
Yep.
these guys stepped in and got the guy on the ground. The guy immediately puts his hands behind his back.
Yeah, he wasn't running. He shot and then just sat down. And you
I
saw
think
him.
he
He was
knows.
just sitting
Yeah,
there. He was
knew.
like,
yeah,
they were running from him. He was probably like, I'm glad I didn't just die.
right.
So this guy apparently he got charged with aggravated battery. That's what I saw so far.
Okay.
They say, what's really crazy is that the city immediately demonized the militia, that they were instigating or something like that. And it's like, man, how crazy is that? Like these guys now putting out a statement like this. He's not one of our guys. Like we stopped the violence and
Right.
held this guy for the police to come and get him.
Yeah. How are they?
Yeah, it
How are they
sounds like-
spinning that though? That's like, this is what we're gonna have if there's no
Dude.
police.
It's
Yeah.
It's going to be
because
these militiamen.
listen, man.
They're actually doing a pretty legit job. Now they're going to demonize them. It's like,
I can
what
tell
do
you,
they want?
I can tell you exactly why the mayor of this town said the problem was the militia. Because people like Mike Gundy have no spine. So for those that were listening in the previous, for those that weren't, Mike Gundy, his coach, wore a T-shirt, got attacked for it, and then apologized. Just today, he's apologized. I'm so sorry for hurting people's feelings for wearing a T-shirt from OAN. When mayors,
I don't think I heard him say that.
I
think he did like this. I'm gonna have to go rewatch it.
We'll go through it, but
I came in while you were watching it, and from what I heard, it sounded like he was just kind of saying, "I'm sorry for the things you're going through," kind of vibe.
We'll talk about that.
Which I don't know if it's better.
The reason I bring it up though is just it's another example of a high-profile individual who immediately gets on his knees groveling for forgiveness from a mob that doesn't care. So when the mayor sees that there is absolutely no support or spine from the conservatives who get targeted, they say, "I'm not going to. Wow, who's got my back on this one?" You know, if a guy who's a fan of even OAN won't tell everyone to shut up.
Well, what about this whole Tucker Carlson thing?
Tucker doesn't back down, that's for sure.
Yeah, but and I see so many people that are coming to his defense. So that's proof that it is out there. They are standing up for him.
There are a lot of people. I guess the issue is conservatives are more likely to be, I don't know, keyboard warriors, I guess.
Or the lack of it. I feel like a lot of them don't have Twitter, they may have Facebook with small circles, but aren't on the internet. They're just out living life.
To be right, it's true, and they have kids and families and they have jobs.
Yeah. Did you just agree with me?
Yeah. And also, I think
we're all in agreement.
I will
that
say
is a breath of fresh air.
To be fair to the conservatives too, there's a threat to your children, so a lot of people don't want to step up. But also, it's Antifa will use violence against them if they come out, and they will be demonized by the press if they try to defend themselves, just like this story. So there really is a disadvantage. You know, in my opinion, you still have to just speak up. If people like this Gundy guy or Drew Brees or whoever else just told everyone to shut up, then this would not be happening. If you bend the knee, you lose, and everyone loses around you. But check this out. Check this out, because I want to jump into this idea. We had more guys show up in Philly. Now, this I find truly fascinating in reference to what's going on with like this New Mexico stuff. You know, when these guys from Unicorn Riot came down, they got smacked around a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not happy about it. I think that's complete BS. These dudes down in South Philly should not be putting on masks, threatening a dude who's filming, telling him stop filming and stuff, and they're pushing his camera and they're grabbing his bike. So it's like what Antifa does.
And they slash the bike tires too.
Is that what they did?
Seriously?
Dude, that's gross,
that's
man.
rude.
It's
Like, why? What are you doing?
You
want him to leave, but now you cut his
now he can't leave.
transportation.
Let him walk around with his camera. Who cares, dude?
Yeah,
exactly. Is this guy really a threat to you?
All right, I don't get it.
But I'll tell you what, man. They call these guys far right.
Okay.
They literally are tweeting, far right and right wing, extremists or whatever. It's like, dude, you're in Philadelphia. 82% Democrat.
Yeah.
These guys are not Republicans. These are like union Democrats, like they're like union boys, man. I'm assuming these guys work for some trade and manufacturing.
Yeah.
They work probably some in offices too, machine shops, like regular dudes.
Yeah.
They're wearing like football shirts and stuff. They think these guys are Republicans or far right. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
They're going to get a rude awakening when they realize, even regular Democrats, they're going to come out with baseball bats and they're going to smack you up a little bit.
Right. The Democrats are fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Take a look. I love this. I pulled up the demographics for Philadelphia.
Oh.
And I find it hilarious. It's 82.3% Democrat. Look at that.
Holy cow.
Okay, so let's be fair. Maybe these guys who showed up fall into the, several hundred of the 108,000 Republicans. It's possible.
There's a chance,
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's like a decently good chance.
Sure.
I got to say, though, I don't think these guys are political. I think for the most part, dudes showed up when they said some crazy jerks want to come and smash up our town. So they came out with baseball bats.
Right.
Dude, I remember I was at a protest on the south side of Chicago. Chicago of all places, which is like as blue can be. And a bunch of these far leftists were walking down Halstead on the south side in Bridgeport. Now, for those that aren't familiar with Bridgeport, all right, it's Southside Irish. It's by this U.S. Cellular Field.
Okay.
It used to be called Comiskey Park or whatever. It's where the Sox play. This is a bunch of low income Irish people on the south side of Chicago. and a bunch of like commie far left anti-capitalists started marching through screaming. And you know what happened?
Fight.
Oh yeah, they
Big
came
fight.
out and they pulled their shirts off and they started just boxing people and
that sounds
punching
like Irish
them.
people.
Oh man.
I'm like, so I used to live over there for briefly, and I knew some of these guys, and like they're Irish, not from Ireland. You know what I mean? Like their great grandparents or grandparents are Irish.
So they're
But
Americans.
They're Americans, but I mean like they literally call it the Southside Irish. That's what like they refer to themselves that way.
Okay.
It's this area where they're all very proud of their heritage.
Combative
and
alcoholics.
a bunch of commies show up screaming in their neighborhood, and then the cops are coming out, and they come out and they're like, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing in our neighborhood, man? Who do you think you are?" These are people who do not mess around. These are not Republicans.
Yep.
These people, if they even vote, probably vote Democrat. And a bunch of far leftists showed up. They started boxing them out.
Yeah,
and they beat the crap out of some of these people, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of these issues or things that we're seeing, it's not even a political thing anymore. They live in their neighborhood.
Yep.
They could be Democrat or Republican, but they're probably friends with Jimmy over there, who's Democrat, and Johnny over here, who's Republican. Well, they're all gonna group up and be like, "You're gonna come into our neighborhood. We're gonna box you."
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And that's in a blue state.
Right.
Now we see when it starts getting into the country where it's a little more purple, you start to pull out guns.
Dude.
Then you go a little further, see what happens.
You see what happens when these people riot in downtown Chicago or in Manhattan, and the cops are like, "Oh, we better back off," and like, what do we do? And they just let them riot. I got some advice for all of these people, man. If you're listening and you're one of these Antifa people, man, heed my warning. You definitely do not want to go into South Philly.
No.
You definitely do not want to go to
North
like
Philly.
South Halstead in Chicago and bring that riot. Bring that riot to Bridgeport, and they're going to be people rolling up with big illegal guns.
They will be happy to see you.
Dude, I like the people in that neighborhood. I've seen them pull their cars over for like minor squabbles and pull out a chain and wrap it around their arm and start swinging it and slamming it. Like, dude, this is South Side of Chicago, man. These are people who are like, you don't disrespect me.
Sounds
you know
exciting.
what I mean? This is, and I gotta admit, it's like I don't like the violence, but what I love about America is that you can be a poor person on the South Side in one of these neighborhoods and tell the rich dude, go after yourself.
Yeah.
You know, these people come in. You bring that riot to the local pub, no one's gonna see you ever again, dude.
Someone tweeted at me the other day because I've kind of been saying this, like you're gonna meet some real Americans and you're not gonna be happy.
You're not gonna like it.
Someone tweeted at me, they're like, yeah, I haven't got any good aiming practice since 73, and it's like, oh
boy.
But this actually gives me hope, the South Philly stuff, because as much as I'm worried that these high level institutions are being taken over by lunatics and cancel culture is getting like serious, they're trying to ban conservative news websites now. I imagine if it ever really got to the point, like when I think about some of these neighborhoods like South Philly, if they actually came out and said we're banning all hate speech, they'd immediately start screaming and throwing bricks at them. The riots would be out of hand from people like these South Philly guys. They'd come out with guns and be like, I don't care. I literally don't. And they'd walk up to these crazy SJW, commies and just be like, nope. So this is the interesting thing. These people aren't activated.
That's it.
They go to work. They go home. They hang out with their kids and their family.
Yep.
They vote. They watch the game. But now the game's politicized.
Oh, I'm telling you now, though, they're waking up.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're football players. They want to watch the game, and instead they're talking about social justice.
Ugh.
So I can imagine there's some like dude who's like 40 years old and got a big beer belly, just got back from work, sits down, cracks open a Miller or something or High Life, and he's like, he flicks on the TV, and then he's like, yeah, let's you guys want to watch the game? He turns it on, and it's like, now my question about racial justice has to do with how many police departments do we really need? And they're like, what is this? Change a channel, next channel. Well, when the players kneel, what they're really saying is, what is this, dude? Can we watch some football or something? I can imagine what they must be thinking when they show up to a Christopher Columbus statue with baseball bats and masks and guns. These people aren't Republicans, man.
Over it.
Yep. And I wonder, you know how you see riots when a football team wins or loses?
Yep.
That feeling these people have where they're willing to riot for literally nothing. What do you think's going to happen when you take that game away from them? They're not going to be rioting with you, dude. They're not going to be screaming anticapitalista or smash the patriarchy. They're going to be just screaming and foaming at the mouth, waving baseball bats around.
Yep.
And they're going to come for you. So this gives me hope. It does. You know, I recall my old days living on the south side of Chicago, and I'm like, these people don't pay attention. And I imagine if they were forced to pay attention, all of these far lefty crazy people would really regret it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'll tell you what, too, especially the Italians. I think that's probably what we see in South Philly because Christopher Columbus was put up. There was a lobbying campaign by Italian American groups to have some kind of Italian, icon, I guess.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
That's my general understanding of it. Could be wrong, but something like that. And now you've got people coming in and literally trying to target your family's heritage or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, they're not going to stand for it,
not
dude.
nice.
Things are going to get spicy, to say the least. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.